Chris. You're all going to have to go after Chris.
Well, no, it's dumb and fun.
Slowly move these off stage.
I have an HDMI port too. Oh, there it is. So these are the people who are signed up for today. So if you're on this list, we'll try to go in order. We do this every year. We go in order. And again, if you want to sign up to get up here, it's only 5 minutes. You just plug in and show people what you want, right? So my first two I'm going to show are kind of crazy, but kind of fun. I built a system that integrates with my personal Airtable. Is my timer going down? Good. I built a system that integrates with my personal Airtable that does tarot readings and allows me to pray to any god in any major religion and actually get the feedback from that god. Are you interested yet? It's called Scaretable for a reason. Okay, so the way my system works is in the morning I go into my Coach AI, which is the AI that looks at my life and it'll generate a prompt for me and say, hey, this is what I think you should do, blah, 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 all that other kind of good stuff, and life is good. The next thing I do in the morning is I come in here and say, well, give me some magic. So I have a little script that randomly pulls a tarot card. Am I going too fast? Okay. So it's going to randomly pull a tarot card, and it's giving me the card that I might know tarot, I might not, so it'll give me an affirmation. So the first thing is like, this is something to think about now that you drew this card. It actually gives me the emotion, not a quick meaning of what the tarot means, and then I can come watch a video on this if I want to just watch that video real quick. Additionally, I can open up that tarot card and see all the other days I pulled that card. So if I want to look for specific patterns in my life or why things are or not happening. But most importantly, I can come in here and then have it do a reading for me. So what it'll do is it'll take my journal and all the emails, people I've met with, things that are on my calendar, take this tarot card plus my sleep stats, my food, everything that's in the front end. I can walk you through it at some point. And then it'll do a tarot reading based on all of that type of stuff. So I got the Four of Cups. The AI now is taking all of that data. If any of you doing AI prompting, it's a pretty good prompt. It does all of that, and it'll go ahead and spit one out. And there you go. So it tells me right away the Four of Cups is about apathy or dissatisfaction. While you're feeling excited about Daretable, it suggests overlooking the positive aspects. So if there's trouble, blah, blah, blah. And then gives me some guidance. So take a moment to reflect on your relationships, etc. Next thing is I can come down here and it'll sometimes give me a god or a goddess that I can talk to. So you can see that it tells me to connect with. So I might not know a god, so it recommended this god. So I can pull up this god. So it pulled up, does anyone know how to pronounce that? Lakshmi? Yep. So from there, it gives me a little information on Lakshmi so I can learn. It puts a summoning script into the AI prompt. So when I summon Lakshmi, it knows how to summon her. And then I can come down here and say, how can I guarantee a good conference? And then I'll come down here and run that. Oh, that's the one from earlier today. All right, so that's that part. The next part is AI Tarot. So what I did was a lot of people liked this, so I went ahead and built a system online so that anyone could go out to mytechnopagan.com and they could say, get a reading, and then it'll come in here and tell them how to get a reading. It costs $5. So this is nice little passive income if you want to make a little Airtable app for yourself. I make about $60 a month, which pays for an Airtable license. And I can come in here and put in my name, Bill Smith, put in my email, 1 minute and 40 seconds, put in how I'm feeling, and next it'll ask me, do I want a reading from the past, present, or future? I say the future. What value you're working on? I'm saying this is about work. How does next year's Daretable look? And then it'll go ahead, ask me to review everything. And then boom, now it'll go back to Airtable, take what I put into it, draw the tarot card randomly, and then send me back that. While we're waiting for that reading to come through, I also built another site called Goddess Techne, where if you like the God thing, you can come in here and for $5 get your prayers answered. I told you. Now, the God program is only about $70 a month passive, but it's kind of cool because I have a lot of different gods from a lot of different religions, and you can click into the gods and read about them, etc. Same type of what? Same type of thing where you can come in there and pick your gods and do the prayer and it'll answer it for you. I'm not going to pay to speak to God right now because that's awkward. But I'll go in here and you can see there's the tarot review we got earlier from the Four of Cups about Daretable in the future. It's feeling sad, blah, blah, Eight of Pentacles, blah, blah. And that's it. There's my two kind of cool Airtable apps built on Airtable AI with a little money integrated into it. Next person. Was that interesting? Did you like that?
That was amazing. Can we also say, if the Four of Cups is really reflecting how you feel, can we just give Chris Dancy a huge round of applause
No, I don't need
for
any more
putting
applause.
this together?
I really don't need any more applause.
He doesn't need it, but I do, because he's incredible.
It's a bit much.
All right, who's next?
And the next person is Julia Potter.
All right, Julia.
After Julia, we'll have Nick Jones. So just be ready, Nick. And then Tally Ritter.
Perfect. And make sure to project in the mic once you come up here. Not everyone is as, loud and in charge as Chris Dancy. And myself. That was so cool. That was... I haven't seen this site.
Cool. So hi, I'm Julia Potter. I'm a senior analyst at Athena Global Advisors, which is an Airtable partner. This space I built to help consolidate press releases and newsletters and articles about different brands in the automotive industry space. So something that is kind of difficult about doing any sort of social listening specifically to articles and newsletters is the fact that it's often not customizable. So you can have just a list of articles sent to you every day with new things going on in the space, but it's kind of hard to customize the newsletter to exactly what you and your audience want. So this space is kind of built to help solve that issue. So this view is dashboard view with top metrics. So you can see that we currently have 27,000 articles in this space and get some volume over time. Sentiment, article type, and article count by theme breakdown. So themes are categorized by AI, which I think is something that's really cool because AI already knows a lot of things about cars that I might not necessarily know. It's really nice to just have it read the article for me and tell me what theme that is. I forgot to mention that articles for this space are brought in using Airtable's webhook trigger, which is something that's really cool. Nice. So we have real-time information constantly going into this database, which is great. And then you can look at our newsletter creation view. So these are super customizable based off of different things. So we can have different types, distribution lists, format. All of that is set up in the back end to make sure that the newsletter that is getting sent out is as customizable as possible. So to add articles, super easy. You can click and search through here, add a date range, start and end, and then all of this is to generate the newsletter with AI. So have a description of the newsletter, which we can update, and then have it generated here. And you can see what the final product will look like before you send it out, which is something that all you have to do is click this button up on top to send it out. Super cool. It's also integrated with MailChimp, so I was able to do some HTML coding to kind of make the newsletter as pretty as possible while sending it out, and also get to audiences and all of that good stuff within our existing systems. This is another example. So this one is built out kind of differently because this one is based off of different subtopics. So for example, we have our Subaru press releases here. And then we also want to look at Subaru's competitors, for example, and have their press releases here as well. In this view, we are generating an AI summary for each of the articles specifically, instead of generating one newsletter at a time, and then looking at the overall overview of the topic based off of all of the information that we have generated on each of the articles. And that will give us a nice broken down view of press releases for Subaru and its competitors that we can schedule to send out. I still have time left, but that is, am I charging?
No, are you charging people?
Ideally, yes.
Yeah.
If
You are now.
yeah, if anyone is interested, definitely let me know, and I will. I will charge you for it. But yeah,
It's incredible. Round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing. Who is this? Nick. Yes, please. Welcome to the stage. Callie Ritter? Who? Sorry. Oh, Tally Ritter. Sorry, I don't have the list in front of me. Please be ready, and in the wings, you'll be next.
Hi, everybody. I'm
Hi.
Nick.
Hi, Nick.
I had a client who wanted a stopwatch solution in Airtable. And yes, I know there's already an extension that does that. But they didn't like the way it worked. So they wanted a solution that they could access from interfaces and a solution that would be accessible from the records themselves instead of having to navigate to the record from the extension. So, as you'll see, I've already started the time because maybe I can't see the timer here very well, and I just want to make sure that I'm staying on my own time tracker. So let's look into the data real quick, and not my personal emails. And what I've done here is you've got buttons for start timer, stop timer. As most of you know, you can set up your last modified time field and then compare those two in a formula that says date time difference between those two things. This much time has elapsed. That's your stopwatch. But what happens when you want to stop that time and start a new time? It's only going to give you the difference between those two fields when they were modified. And if you started a task yesterday, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, and then you finish it in a week from now, it's just going to give you a week's worth of time. So you can set up automations to calculate the time between the start and the stop, and then use a formula field to add that time to an existing cumulative time field. So when you stop the time, you can also use this automation to clear out your checkboxes. And then it's going to keep that running total in a separate editable field. Let's say your employee forgets to stop the timer. You can go back in, clear out all of your checkboxes, and then say, okay, how much time do you think you worked on that? And correct the count timer. And yes, it works from the interfaces. So I also have a button that lets you check your timer. So if I click on this, I'm in the middle of giving my presentation. I've allotted myself 7 minutes because that's what was in the portal. I'm going to check my time, and it looks like I've been talking for 2 minutes, and that's correct. But I think I'm actually going to stop working now. And the automation will go in, and you'll see this total completed hours get updated. I also have an automation set up to update a status from, oops, it went away. It was to do, and now it's in progress. And there are lots of little caveats and contingencies like any other custom solution in Airtable that you want to watch out for, such as if you duplicate a record, you want to clear out the existing cumulative time field so that you're not counting time on new tasks. And I'm very pleased to have shown this to you.
That was incredible. Hey, Nick, have you done anything with AI in Airtable? Okay. I do. I have an enhancement request for you.
Okay.
Taking those times that you have and how much time something is taking, and then using AI to come up with predictions for who would be the right resource given the timelines, and factor that in for like skills management, resource allocation.
Great.
Right? This is my favorite thing to do, just like taking y'all's beautiful creations and then being like, hey, guess what? +1. It makes me feel very, very smart. Yeah. No, thank you so much. That was incredible. All right, Tally,
Hi.
over to you.
Yeah.
Be sure to project.
Okay, yes. Hi, I'm Tally Ritter. I work at the University of Michigan at the Center for Socially Engaged Engineering and Thank you. Basically, most of my job is in Airtable. So we have a maker space for students to do like prototyping and stuff like that for class projects and co-curricular teams. When I started, they did a lot of things on paper that I spent my like first month inputting manual stuff in. So this table has evolved a lot over the years that I've been there, but recently turned part of this more into, we have a student lab staff, and so an interface for them to access the information that they need about students who are using the space, and just key links and what the process is overall, because we have, turnover each year with those students are coming into the lab for. So this is sort of the overall process. There's a form that students submit here for, like, I want to use the lab. That comes in. I then manually approve those, just check that they have the information that we need from them filled out. After that, we have some safety quizzes that they do. This is shared with another unit on campus, so that's a Google form that they had set up. So then I'm importing those via automations. Used to do that through Zapier, but transitioned to native Airtable automations over time as that has been built up. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so after they complete the application and I manually approve that, have an automation for sending an email out saying, hey, we've accepted your application, now like complete the safety training and like what the steps of that process are going to be. I have a couple different filters and conditions for that because students don't always go through this process in the order that we want them to. So sometimes they'll fill out the safety quiz first, or come into the lab with a friend and we're like, yeah, you really aren't supposed to do that yet. So making sure that like based on their application status and what record we already have of them, sending the correct email to be like, hey, go back and do this step of the process that you missed, and such. But yeah, so after they submit that safety quiz, they come in for an in-person training. We use Acuity for scheduling those, and then I have an automation to import them into Airtable here and also import those into our other consultation tracking for broader metrics. After they come in person for those, we have them sign an access agreement, just like here are the rules of the lab, make sure that, everything's, they understand what we expect of them in that space. And that's how they then get door code and like access to the space to come in to work on their projects, or sign up for another training. So we have a couple different types. Yeah, and then once they come in, we have a sign-in, just basic information, what brings them in, again, for tracking purposes. And all of this is connected to their individual records so that we can kind of, see where they're at in the process, see what trainings they've done, kind of look across all the students. And that all gets imported into my broader metrics tracking for just our overall student interactions. And yeah, within the base itself, also have just recently built in this sort of task management for the lab staff. So we have, some different downtime and things in the lab when students aren't coming in for training. So, and metrics, which looks very boring here because I deleted all of the data to just include records that were about me. But I've signed in twice. So, but yeah, that's basically what our lab management base is.
Perfect. Thank you so much for getting up there. All right, next person on the docket, Connor Tomasco. Woo! Thank you so much.
Of course, this is not even the screen I want to show. Sorry, I'm like, what tab was I going to start on? This one. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Connor. I'm a freelance consultant doing Airtable stuff, but I used to work full-time at Employee Indy, which is the Workforce Development Board for Marion County, and now still consult with them on the Job Ready Indy program, which is really a job readiness curriculum that's offered online completely. It has like 6 badges that participants can earn, and then they get a certificate at the end of that they can put on their resume. Indianapolis employers have been informed as to like the usefulness of that when candidates are coming in the door. Anyway, the point is, I oversee the back end of that, the like LMS admin stuff and all the Airtable reporting and fun stuff that I do. And part of the process when orgs come on board with us and want to have access to that curriculum is that they submit I'm forgetting words for things. They submit an organization interest form, and then they'll select a subscription. So Marion County orgs get it for free because that's part of the funding for Employee Indy. But anybody else can pay to access it, and when those come in, there needs to be a review process just to make sure that they've selected the right subscription for how many users they want to be using it. So I use interface pages to do this. I build my processes into interface pages so that I have all the context I need. Like, okay, this is the first step. This is all the information, all the context that I need in order to make this decision on this org, and just make sure that they've selected the correct subscription for how many users that they want to have access to the curriculum. So like on here, I just start with some general like metadata essentially about when they submitted the subscription request, and then organization information from when they originally submitted their interest form as an organization before they selected the subscription, just to make sure that that information aligns, and then information on which subscription plan that they selected. And then also just if there's this is the manual admin action required. So just making sure that you have all of the context possible all in one place, along with where you can actually make changes to that record and have that workflow progress. So you don't have to keep flipping between tabs, like a written SOP, and then actually doing the work. So like in this situation, I would just compare, this org is outside of Marion County, has 500 users. Originally, when they said that they were interested as an org, they selected a plan for 500 users, so that looks good. They're good to go. We don't need to do anything to say, hey, you selected the wrong plan. I can have an automatic email, though, that goes out, and I just have the text of the email here just for reference to remind myself what does that automated email look like when that gets sent out to them if they selected the wrong things. But if they did, we just select a different status, and then they would get that automated email letting them know, like, hey, actually reselect your plan. I have like a different process set up for that. But if it did match, which it does right now, then I just automate it or change to auto new subscription, and then this would trigger a whole other set of automations that I have, where then a DocuSign goes out with a subscription agreement that is automated from a template using so it's like DocuPilot, it's Airtable to DocuPilot to DocuSign for the subscription agreement. They sign that, then it gets automatically sent back into Airtable using Zapier, and then I think they also get the link to pay via PayTrace, and then we have an API set up with that to go back in as well, so we get all the transaction information right in Airtable too. So really, I've just found this invaluable, just being able to have all of the context for the process, the entire process written out, in one spot.
Wow. What would you say you're most proud of in this space? Like your one thing? One thing.
I don't know. I think this is what stood out to me. Honestly, I thought of a different base that I almost talked about instead of this one, but I'd already submitted for this one. So if you'd like to hear about that instead, it's a variety show that's every month in Chicago that I help them with like a sign up process and scoring for the participants and everything.
Oh, that's incredible. All right. Go track down Connor after this, ask about that. Wonderful. Marcus Garrett, you are up next, followed by Camille Parks, waiting in the wings. Are y'all thinking about how you're going to enhance your own bases now? Seeing all of this? I get really jazzed. Just want all of these. All right. Loving the scarf. So excited.
Hi.
Hi, Marcus.
This thing works? Great. So in my family, something that's really important to us is family game night. And our favorite game to play is Yahtzee. And all you really need is some dice and a piece of paper, and anyone can play Yahtzee. But now, I've simplified that even further, where now all you need is this interface. So if you don't know what Yahtzee is, it's basically a game where you roll dice and you kind of try to make like poker hands based off of your dice rolls. And I, wanted to see if I could recreate that with Airtable. And so we'll play a few rounds of it right now. So we have our interface, we have a roll button. All of this can really be done just using some simple automations. The only script that I am using is just one where it does the random number. That's the easiest way that I was able to get the 1 through 6 of the dice roll. But here is our first roll. I click on these buttons to select the die or dice, I'm not sure, of what to keep. You'll see that the emojis and the values change as well. So for every round, every player gets up to 3 rolls. So I'm going to keep these 4, and I'm going to re-roll just the one that I want to. So it's doing that in the background. Then we'll get our next roll. And as you can see, as this is doing, the system is actually calculating all of the potential scores that you might get. Actually, this is exactly what I wanted. So I got my large straight. You might notice my names are a little different for legal reasons, maybe. I'm not sure, but I don't want to take that chance. So we can see that my large straight, aka Biggie, this is worth 40 points. I'm going to click on this button, and an automation is going to submit that score and actually put that into the official ledger. And then once we have that, it can move on to the next player. Right now, we're just playing with one player, and then we'll take our next turn. So everything resets. We'll go on to our next round. We'll do another roll. And it was funny because the last time that I was showing this off, I actually got a Yahtzee. Let's see if we can do that now. All right. What should I keep? Audience? Ones? The ones? Okay. We're going to go ones. All right. What's it going to be? Ooh. Are we going to keep it? Are we going to change up our strategy? 3. Okay. You're right. That's very safe. That could get us our small straight. Let's do that. Let's see what we get. Oh, I didn't click it. Oh, no. Let's see if luck is on our side. Oh. Well, now we find ourselves in a very interesting spot. We don't really have anything that's particularly great, but but we can now look at our preview and see what we want to maybe, do and make the most out of what we have. So I mean, you can always go for your wild. You can always go for your chance. That's always safe. So, some last features are that it will calculate multiple Yahtzees and do that multiplier score. I'm gonna add leaderboards to it. I'm gonna add a bunch of stuff, but this is all fun, and I hope you enjoyed your time with this game.
Okay, can you share with us, do you have a running tally of who's winning in your family?
Yeah, but that's
don't-
on actual paper.
Yeah, is that private information? Thank you so much for sharing. I love a good game of Yahtzee. Round of applause. Camille Parks, you are up next. Do I see her? She say no? You don't want to follow Yahtzee, huh? No. All right, that's fine. Okay, how about Max Bernstein? Bernstein. It's like the Berenstain Bears. Yes, perfect. And then Julian Post. I'm so glad you signed up. Can't wait to see.
My name is Max. I run a company called Relational, and we are a partner, and we serve music industry clients. So what you're about to see, not that, what you're about to see is, this is a demo base. I'll walk you through it real quick, and then the demonstration will be about one specific part of it. So if you're tracking releases for most of our clients, this is the way that it looks. And I'm having difficulty with connectivity here. All right, well, I'll talk through the beginning and hopefully this catches up. But the demonstration is meant to, give me a second here. Okay. Great. All right, so release schedule is important for every one of our clients. Sorry. This isn't gonna work out right now, it doesn't seem. But what I meant to show you, and hopefully I'll be able to, is how you can extend the functionality of your base by using automation scripts to connect to third-party APIs. So our clients are all keeping a lot of their information inside of Airtable, when releases are coming, when they're spending money, how they're spending money. And then if you can go call into an API using a scripting automation, then you can get information about how your release that you just scheduled and marketed and spent money on is performing in the real world. And some of this information is available to you for very low cost. So if you have a Spotify premium subscription for $11.99 a month, you could come in to the web API documentation for Spotify, and you can read the overview, click the dashboard, get your client ID, get your client secret, run 3 lines of code within Airtable, store your access token in a place that refreshes every hour. By refreshing every hour, that means it's always going to work for you. It's always going to be live. And then in the script, which hopefully I'll be able to show you, the second or third step is to go call into that, call it the data store inside Airtable, pull that access key, and then use it in your API calls. Down here on the left, while I'm on this page, are all the different things you could access from Airtable in Spotify. So information about an artist's albums, to the extent that you want to know all of the albums that they've ever put out, all of the tracks that are on a specific album. You could do that. Big thing in our industry is playlists, so that you want to know if you've been put on, today's top hits, or if you've been put on New Music Friday or something like that. And this will allow you to come into the playlist endpoint, make a call, bring all of the data from that playlist into Airtable, and then cross-reference that with the releases that you came out with. And let's just go right into it. We're going to skip the tour. We're going to go to new artists. We're going to add an artist, and you're going to see the automations in action. So Brandy is in a band, and this demo
Britney Spears,
label,
I'll take it.
this demo label is trying to sign Brandy's band. And they wanted to add this artist to the base, which they've done. And in the background, 2 scripts are running. The one that's keeping the access token fresh, and then the one that's taking that access token, calling into Spotify, and getting the image of the artist, getting Spotify URL, getting Spotify followers,
Stop it.
and stuff like that.
Stop it.
So that is that, and then let's take a quick look under the hood at these automations. First one.
Me. It's me, everyone.
And
It was my song playing right before you got up here. One of them. That was from like the first album. That was a long time ago.
anyway, that's it. Go Yankees.
No, that's incredible. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That was so fun. Julian, I'm so proud of you. Julian was not going to sign up, and then here he is. All right, round of applause, Julian. Can't wait to see what you bring for us.
All right, so I also created a presentation since Brandy got me to submit this an hour ago.
Wait, you created it right
Just
before
now.
this?
Yeah, for you.
Stop.
Okay, so
Amazing.
I'm a New Yorker. I live in Brooklyn. And for those other New Yorkers here, how many of you have tried to park a car? Hey. All right. So we have this thing called alternate side street sweeping, which means that parking is free in a lot of the city, but on between 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. on Mondays and Thursdays on this side of the street, you can't be there, or you got to be watching your car, otherwise you'll get a ticket. So, but on the other side of the street, it's Tuesday, Friday. So you have to shuffle your car around a lot, but if you kind of like do some planning ahead, you can move it. Like if you know that tomorrow you can't have it on the right side of the street, today you can move it to the left side, and then you don't have to deal with it the next day. And so this is something that I do a lot.
What do you do on Wednesday?
So Wednesday is a free day. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that.
Okay, sorry. Baltimore, not New York, sorry.
But what really trips me up is that actually there are a lot of holidays where they're not watching the meters and they don't care. And I would often move my car ahead of the next day and then get the notification from like NYC 311 on the actual day that I didn't have to move my car. But I already moved it. It was too late. And so I wanted a way to know ahead of time when I didn't have to move my car. But it had to be on the relevant day. So for example, these are the 4 days when there is street sweeping. And so say like you have, it's Lincoln's birthday, right? On Tuesday, if it's on a Tuesday, I need to get an email on Monday knowing that it's Lincoln's birthday and I'm not gonna need to move my car. However, so that's like a Monday and a Tuesday. But if it's a Thursday, since I don't do anything on Wednesdays, I need to know on Tuesday. So it's just a little more complicated of when I need to know. And then even more, if it's on a Monday, I need to know the Friday before. Okay, everyone got it so far? All right. So this is a list of the parking holidays, the New York City parking holidays. And all of the action happens in the notify date formula. Oops. And so basically what this is doing, there's 2 things that it's doing. One is it's looking at what are the days that I actually care about here. So if I don't care about Sundays, in my case, I don't care about Sundays, Saturdays, or Wednesdays. So if there's a holiday on any of those days, it's not going to send me a notification. And then it's telling it, if I do want to know about that holiday, how many days ahead of time do I want to know? So for example, on a Monday, I need to know 3 days before because I need to know on the preceding Friday. But if it's a Tuesday, I just need to know 1 day before. So that formula puts out a date, and then there is a very simple automation that just says, if that notified date is today, send me an email letting me know that this holiday is coming up.
It's amazing. Amazing. Do you want to? Okay. If you want to sign up, keep signing up. Yes? In the meantime, Chris is going to get back up on stage.
There
And
are
we're
no
gonna keep
gods or
sharing.
monsters in this one. So this one's really interesting. Do you guys ever have employees who you think they just need to go?
Yeah. Show of hands.
Show of hands if there are people at your work you want fired.
Show of hands if you. Yeah.
There's an Airtable for that.
$6 a month.
I didn't know how
for-
dark you wanted me to go, but no one's signing up, so I'll go there. All right. So one things we did was we went ahead and we do a real-time survey of our employees at the county, and the other thing we do is we allow our employees to message each other through the interface, which then ties back to their survey. So obviously we can come in here and just get like how different departments are doing, but what the employees don't know is behind the scenes, there is an AI analysis of their mood each week, and it alerts their bosses to know that we might be getting people that are out of bounds. We've actually cut down on HR incidents by quite a bit, so that was just kind of one of those little fun things. Something else that's really interesting is because I live in New York, we have to really monitor our utility costs. So what I do is have our utility bill ported into Airtable each month, and then Airtable AI reads it and looks for patterns in what we've been doing in our house, because our house is on smart meters. So in what pieces of equipment we need to get off. How we do that, though, I don't know if anybody is using this, but AI now allow you to read a document. So in this case, this is just a bank statement for me. So my CPA used to charge me, it's like $60 a month to go through and reconcile my statements. So now Airtable AI will go ahead and read the statement and pull out all the information to the CPA and then send it to her and update the base so that the reconciliations can be done. Don't pay people anymore. Stop paying people. That's all I have. Who else wants to go?
Woo.
I could do this all day. To me, Scaretable is like, it's like Airtable ASMR. I just want someone to be on YouTube, and you could be dressed fully. I don't care. But seriously, just do a bass in front of me. I could watch someone group fields all day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. It's like Airtable stand-up hour. But seriously, don't you guys love watching people do that? And who else? Who are my emoji people? Emojis in the base versus non-emoji? Because it's two tribes. Next year, you're going to fight it out on a mud pit. All right. Well, listen, with that, if no one else is going to get up to do Scaretable, we've got 12 minutes before your next sessions, 2:30. You want to come up? And,
Yeah.
2:30 on the main stage and...
Yeah, we're going to split rooms again. So if you'd like to go see other presentations upstairs on the 3rd floor, please go ahead and do that. 12 minutes. Go get some water. Come back. Join us on the main stage. We're going to have a lot of fun. Lots more going on this
And
afternoon.
don't-
Thank you for participating.
Yeah, don't forget the closing keynote has the Airtable roadmap and a preview behind the scenes of Portal.
It's going to be so
down here for the 2 closing
incredible.
keynotes. Thank
Do
you, thank you,
not
thank you.
leave. Also, there's a bunch of swag upstairs.
Yeah,
It's
get your free
ready.
stuff.
It's free. Go get it.